Okay, Pete, you are the sales manager here at a mega facility at BMW of Orland Park outside of Chicago. And I want to just talk to you, car guy here, and this is like a little quick interview. I had just asked you a question. I said, what is the most important thing that a salesperson can do to make money? And you said market themselves. I agree. But let's say you have traffic, because there's a lot of dealers that piss money out the door to drive people in here, and then it falls apart. So I want to just ask your opinion. What do you think the biggest challenges are that salespeople have when they engage a prospect that's in their showroom?
I think one of the biggest challenges they have is they want to jump to price immediately. And like we discussed, the old adage still works: 45 minutes of presentation and 15 minutes of negotiation. Salespeople want to walk around a car with, very little enthusiasm. They'll tell them it's a BMW. They'll tell them it's got free maintenance. They'll tell them it's got Bluetooth, but they tell them the feature, but they don't really explain the benefit. And if they would just spend time in going over the benefits and features and really get into it and be animated and be excited, the customer will follow along. But when they walk around with their hands in their pockets and they have no enthusiasm, it loses its luster, and they want to go right to price.
So here's a couple things that I would say. I want to just have a conversation with you. I believe sales is transference of energy.
It is. Sales
is transference of energy. So if you are excited about it and you can articulate and be passionate about it, exactly what you just said, I agree with you. The other thing that you just said that really scares me, because I believe it to be true as well, is that they jump right to the price. Here's the thing for me. Price is only relevant with the absence of value. So that goes into what you said.
100%.
If they're not going through the features and benefits and engaging the whole road to the sale, if they're not going through this beautiful facility, if they're not doing all that stuff, if they're not going through a service walk, if they're not doing all that stuff, then they're not going to be able to build that value with the customer. And then that's when it is about the numbers, because there's the only thing to compare it to is the price, because there's no value built in. What is your opinion about that?
I agree 100%. There are two types of buyers. You can either term a buyer a rational buyer or an emotional buyer. You never win with a rational buyer. If it's all about numbers, they're the wrong brand. I mean, you look at the product we saw and you see this building, you walk in here, for them not to walk them around this building, show them the fireplace and service, and just sell the sizzle, as they say, you lose. I mean, if you deal with a person on numbers alone, there's no emotion there. There's no tie. You're never going to win. All it's going to do is cost you gross.
Now, let's talk about that costing gross, because here's what drives me crazy in this industry. You just said that salespeople do this, that they try to drop the price or drop to this, drop to that. Is that correct?
It's always.
Okay, that's a problem, because for me, profit isn't a dirty word. Full price is a fair price. But if they already pre-programmed that they want to shave a little, cut down, and negotiate down, or what have you, then that's what the customer is going to feel. Because again, sales is about transference of energy. If the energy the salesperson is in scarcity or discounts or that, then that's what they're gonna I don't know, radiate that type of ridiculous's. Does that make sense?
It does, because when I sold cars, I always just think for every $100 I gave a customer, that was $35 out of my pocket. It's just when you break it down to simple numbers and you think about it that way. But too many people nowadays, when they come in, a salesperson comes for a turnover, you give them a price, you go out there at MSRP, they go out and give the customer a payment, the customer says, oh no, that's too much. 30 seconds later, they're back at your desk going, oh, that's too much for them. Instead of sitting down and justifying the price, justifying the product, justifying the dealership and the service we're going to provide, they want to run up because it's an objection they can't overcome right away. Instead of reselling the car, reselling the dealership, reselling everything, and finding out what they had in mind when they came here, they run up and right back to the desk.
So let's talk about that. What do you believe is the proper way to engage? Because I believe a lot of the objections that manifest themselves are because they weren't set up the right way. The best way to handle an objection is before it becomes an objection. Before you turn around and put somebody into a $126,000, M6, you should qualify them and see if that's the right car for them. Would you?
There's no doubt, because how do you walk somebody back down?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, once they get inside that M6, they know they can't afford it. But now you're going to put them in a situation where they've embarrassed themselves and they can't tell you why I really can't afford this. They're going to tell you know what, I need to talk to my wife, I need to think about this, I need to go look at a few other brands. And he walks out saying, there's no way I can afford that car. In the meantime, if you had shown him a 5 Series, which is an awesome car, this guy could have been down the road in your 5 Series and you could have had a customer.
I love it. I absolutely. So, what is your advice to the salespeople, whether it's your salespeople that are watching this, or there's the thousands of other sales professionals on automotive internet sales that are watching this? What's your advice to them on how to engage the process, build value, and max gross?
When the customer walks in, they walk in one of two ways. They've either been to a Highline dealership before or they haven't. You qualify them right at the door when you greet them. You know, you want to know what they're here to accomplish today. What are they driving presently? What do they like about their car driving right now? What don't they like about the car they're driving right now? You know, you need to lead the customer. You can't let the customer lead you. There's only one of two ways a customer is going to walk in here. They're either a Highline customer, have been to a Highline dealership before, or they have no idea. And you need to know which direction to take them in once they walk in. If you're just guessing and you're going to walk out there in a lot and show them cars, I mean, I walk in here, I'm starry-eyed when I see these cars, let alone a customer who's never seen a BMW or Highline car before. You know, to us, a $30,000 car is an entry-level car, but to somebody driving a Honda, man, that's the top of the world to them.
Right.
And you've got to know what you're dealing with before you start walking them around. Some idea where you're going to take them.
Makes a lot of sense. Any closing words of wisdom you want to also add to the sales professionals that are in their career and they want to make this their lifelong career?
You know what? It takes effort and it takes hard work and it takes a lot on their part just to study and know the competitor's product as well as they know their own. All right, because you can't just say, I have a competitor down the street, all they do is talk about how BMW sucks. They never tell the customer what makes their car better. They just tell the customer, well, you don't want to go down there, BMW sucks. You know how many cars I've sold and stole from that competitor? Because they can't explain their car, they just want to tell them my car. Know your car and know the competitor. And know what you're talking about, because 9 times out of 10 the customer's been online, they know what they're talking about. And they want somebody else to show them what they already know.
I love it. That's powerful closing. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Okay, Pete, for the video search. Thank you.